It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family, large up yourself, big up yourself. It's the hostess with the mostest. Select the Selah Shaloms on the 1 and 2s. You know how we do. It's a vibes. It's a blood clot vibes. Commercial break.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Yes, family, well, Guam brethren. Salute to the righteous gods and goddesses. Yes, oxygen. Oxygen is the foundation of all this thing. Hold on, family. Let me take this call real quick. Oxygen, beloved. Yes, family. Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family. Oxygen, my lord. Iron and oxygen is the two fundamental minerals to keep all cells healthy. I mean, iron is key. Dr. Saber used to always say, iron is key to your health. You know what I mean? Iron is your blood. Your blood is ran off of iron and oxygen. So those two benefactors, especially the iron, you know what I mean? You get your iron and your herb. The strongest part of your iron, the strongest forms of iron is in your herbs. You know what I mean? Your sea moss, your yellow dock, your burdock, your sarsaparilla, moringa. You know what I mean? All that's iron-based. All that's going to help, you know what I mean, oxygenate the cells. Because a white blood cell is a cell at the end of the day, and a cell has a particular rule. It has to be oxygenated. Your whole body is made up of cells. Calcium cells, carbon cells, and all those cells got to follow this one simple rule: oxygen. With the depletion of oxygen creates cell deprivation, and that goes for all the cells: red blood cells, white blood cells, calcium cells, carbon cells. If those cells are dehydrated, that's what you call this. Dehydration is basically disease. You know what I mean? So if there's something going on with your white blood cells, there's something going on with your red blood cells, there's something going on with your calcium cells, you got to find foods to address those, to address that depleted mineral for the most part. You know what I mean? It's the blood clot vibes. I just want to get on and vibe. Y'all just got off a side, another chopping it up with the family over there. Shout out to the righteous gods and goddesses. You know what I mean? Shout out to Moses over there. That boy crazy. You know what I mean? But he good though. And see, this is what I be saying about, you know what I mean, knowing history, knowing the timeline. That's why I said we always win with timeline. When I asked the brother a couple times about the timeline, or you know the Phoenicians, or when was the timeline of the Phoenicians? Oh, when we was African and we was the council together. When you didn't reference no time in history to validate your argument, which it's good motivational speaks. It sounds good. It's real motivational. But if you bring that shit to a debate or you bring that shit to a cipher, you got to show and prove with some evidence. Source up. You know what I mean? When we source it, that's why I say, yo, like, what's the source? You know, I said, well, I said, show me where the black man had authorship of the Bible. He couldn't show it. I said, give me a time period. He couldn't give me a time period. You know what I mean? And oh, Jana was looking for you. I'm live too. Yeah, so no, So he was way off. You've been drinking burdock. I'm on elderberry now. I make sure you ain't drinking no coffee. Make sure you ain't drinking no strong drink like soda, coffee, Gatorade, none of those drinks that are strong in acid. And spicy foods that are strong, like fried, a lot of fried foods. You know what I mean? Anything that is spicy on the food side, and anything that is strongly acidic on the drinking side, like coffee, soda, stay away from those things, because that's what's going to dehydrate your cells. Soda and coffee has a strong pH balance of acid. It's like 3-4, and that'll strip your negative electrons, which is your alkaline electrons, in your blood. Acid in the blood creates uric acid. It creates, like I said, it strips the blood of its if it's negative charge, making it acidic. Uric acid in the blood. Now your blood is hot, burning with fire. You become the angry and jealous God when that blood is hot. The herbs got to be taken in moderation, indeed. You know what I'm saying? Everything got to be taken in moderation. Water can kill you if you don't drink that shit in moderation. You feel me? So he's right. Everything in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Don't overdo nothing. As long as it ain't gonna hurt you. Malachi Mack be in the building. Peace to the righteous God. I've been plant-based for 4 years. It's strange. What you got going on? What you got? Low blood count? Yeah, man. Sometimes we got to check out. Even if we vegan, sometimes you can be vegetarian, plant-based, and still lack certain minerals from certain herbs to get the proper nutrients. You know what I'm saying? So just being vegan and plant-based doesn't necessarily fully get you there. You know what I mean? It's the start, but it's more to it. You know what I mean? I stopped eating meat in 96. I stopped eating flesh and blood in 1996. You know what I mean? And started eating starches, rice, beans, which was damn near just as bad because those things are high in starch. They're going to put acid in the blood the same way the meat put acid in the blood. You know what I mean? You could be a vegetarian and still have hypertension because there's other starch foods that could give you the same hypertension that meat could give you, although you don't need it. So it's levels to this shit. That's why Dr. Sebi was a real person to study, because he really went in and showed scientifically foods that are alkaline, foods that are acidic. Watch out for these fruits. Watch out for these herbs, So it's definitely a challenge, you know what I'm saying? It's not nothing that happens overnight, you know what I'm saying? You dig? Yes, family. We just are vibing, yeah. Like I said, I was talking to the brother on side, man. He really, cool cat, but he got to get his shit together, man. You can't be on here just saying how you feel. Yeah, when we was in Africa, man, we had the black African kings, man. We was ruling in Africa. Nigga, what's the time period? When? What's the time stamp? This time period when niggas was ruling, and this time period when niggas was invaded by foreigners. You know what I mean? You could be talking about the time when the foreigners came, the invaders came into Africa. If you're not talking about a specific time period in history. Ladybug After Dark, what's good, family? I'll be in them little 5 tomorrow filming. I got a set. Trying to get this last episode done. You already nizzle. So yeah, man. You know what I mean? That boy Moses, man. And the other cat below, he was pretty cool. You know what I mean? I heard when they brought up the wasp, he was like, I just can't get around the fact that the dentist and I said, see, that's y'all fault. If you can't get past the fact that this is a white dentist, if you can't get past that, that's on you. You know how many people around you get past that and seeing the value of this information, especially compared to the Bible. You know, I'm going to stay on your ass with that Bible. I'm going to beat you up every time. I'm going to show you. Without being forceful, the Owaspi going to beat up the Bible every time. Nigga starting right off the gate with Genesis. Nigga, we going to start from the beginning. I'm going to beat up your book from Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. I don't got to go in the middle of the book and start. I'm going to start beating the niggas up from Malachi, the book of Malachi, or the book of Ezra. No, nigga, I'm going to start from Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, and beat your God up all the way to Revelations if need be. So that's what these niggas don't be understanding. Like, nigga, I know the Bible. I started off with the Bible just like you did, but you still there. Nigga, I acknowledge the Owaspi. You niggas that don't even know it, don't have a clue. Or now you now starting to read it. Nigga, I'm over a decade in. You ain't about to read that in a couple of months and think you're gonna challenge me and beat me on that book, nigga. You crazy. That's like yo ass coming into the dojo, in a karate school, in a jiu-jitsu school, in a boxing school, and a nigga who been in that thing, been running that shit for 10 years, and you just started learning boxing 3 months ago. You really think you better beat the nigga who been studying for 10 years in boxing? You know how many techniques that nigga know, how many training he done put in for you to come in as a 3-month-old new student? You gonna get your ass mopped, boy. Cause not only I got 10 years under the belt, I know your shit. I know what you come in the dojo with. When I see you train, oh, he there with it. See what I'm saying? When niggas still talking about God and shit, he there with it. I asked that boy, I said, nigga, is the Most High? Oh no, see the Elohim's. I'm like, nah, nigga, it's a yes or no question. But see, this is letting me know that these niggas ain't ready to get in the ring. Not. Damn near none of these niggas ready to get in the ring. And I say that meaning, they're not ready to get in the ring as far as standing on a doctrine. See, some of these niggas don't stand on doctrine. Like some of these scientific niggas, they don't really stand on doctrine. They just researchers, I should say. They don't have a real foundation unless they hide up under the frame science. And if they want to debate science, nigga, we can have that debate too. Niggas was talking about Darwin's theory, so don't talk to me about no white man. How these niggas talking about African power? But Cedric just broke down Darwin's theory. Ain't nobody checked the nigga about Darwin being a white man and all this. I'm sure y'all have in the past, but it's like, look, information is information. If you niggas still stuck on skin color, you're gonna lose out. Niggas is talking about science and technology. You know what I mean? Nigga, the European did that, right? Same technology and science you niggas boasting about, these laptops and computers we communicating, is ruled by Europeans. Y'all niggas got to get over the skin complexity. Because I said, every time you bring that up, I'm going to beat you. I can't get over the fact that a dentist wrote the Owaspi. But then when I pull up the Narmer palette, you got Narmer and his soldiers with chopped off nigger heads under his goddamn feet. Which one is worse? A dentist writing a Bible? Or Dharma, the first African king we see in history, killing off other black people? Which one is worse? See, if I would have raised that question, it would have switched the narrative. Because they don't want to see. I'm dealing with self-conviction. When niggas when they play the race card game, I'm gonna hit you with self-conviction. See, I'm a chess player, my nigga. I'm a chess player. I'm a strategic person. You're not gonna run nothing past me without that shit getting checked. Oh, the white man, a dentist wrote the Owaspi. I can't get into it, but you can get in. you could get into the fact that Narmer slayed other niggas, but you don't question that. Let's talk about that. Let's have a lengthy goddamn discussion about Narmer killing other Africans 3100 BC, third millennium BC. Let's talk about that. Before the Europeans came on the scene, before the Europeans invaded us, before Alexander the Great, 3rd century BC, before the Greeks came in 750 BC, after the goddamn Greek Dark Ages, and nigga, we know the history, nigga. We got the timeline on smash. That's why I kept asking the nigga, what's the timeline? He couldn't give me no timeline. Moses couldn't give us a timeline. He's speaking at the fragment of his imagination. He's giving us Martin Luther King feel-good speech. I have a dream, but your dream is not a reality because you can't place it in the time of history. So we can say, oh, when you said African kings, that's what you was referring to. This particular person. Nigga, at least give us Narmer, nigga. That's the first nigga you got on history. Uniting Upper and Lower Egypt. Prior to Narmer, nigga, ain't no real records like that. You got little scarabs here and there, little artifacts here and there. Then the 3rd, 2nd going back is just little pottery shits like that. But you don't come into no real history until you get to Narmer and coming on down to the pre-dynastic Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, New Kingdom. This nigga talking about African this and African that, and they ain't even referenced none of the kingdoms, none of the high points of African civilization. Come on, man. See, what makes me dangerous is, nigga, I could deal with the theology, the cosmology, and I could deal with the historicity. I could place it in the time. I don't care what history you talking about, especially the last 6,000 years. We ain't gonna do like the mighty Hebrew, go back trillions of years and niggas can't reference. You wanna go back to the what? You wanna go back to the goddamn the Greek Dark Ages? 12th millennium BC coming on down to 750 BC, and after the Greek Dark Ages, the Renaissance came, the archaic Greek, 750, and Homer comes on the scene, the Etruscans come on the scene. The Roman Republic comes on the scene, nigga. We got all that. I got that shit right here. Because when you look at it so much on the chart, you start to memorize the shit. If I show y'all niggas this every day, you're going to start being like, all right, you're going to start remembering them dates, and it's going to be planned. So if anybody come with you with history or a timeline of history, you're going to be like, well, hold up. Nah, nigga, that's off because this happened at that time you referencing. For example, like right here, nigga, we got the timeline. That's why the boy couldn't tell us nothing about the timeline. I'm like, bro, give me a timeline. I'm with you, but just give me a timeline. Well, see, what you don't get is that, see, we Africans. I'm like, man, this nigga wastes, man. And see, I'm short patient with ignorance, man. Niggas start going, that's when I start bucking on these niggas. Like, bro, come on, man. And I'm talking about bucking on them scholarly odds. Not no nigga shit. Like, nigga, you don't know what you're talking about. See that timeline? See, we deal with timeline. We deal with timeline. Look at this timeline. This should say 3953 BC on this end, all the way down to 96 AD. This is just some of the history. So when I asked the boy, I said, give me a timeline. When the Africans was reigning, when the Phoenicians was reigning, give me a timeline. He couldn't give me a timeline. 3100 BC, look at that. That's when Narmer's on the scene. The Minoan civilization comes up. The Mycenaean comes on the scene 1,000 years later, 2nd millennium BC. See that? 1100 BC is when the civilization ended. The beginning of the Dark Ages, the Greek Dark Ages. At the ending of the Greek Dark Ages, you got the rise of Homer, which rose in the Dark Ages, the Etruscan civilization. You got the Roman Republic, Xerxes' second Persian invasion of Greece. All this is taking place. The kings of Macedonia. All this is taking place after the Greek Dark Ages. Before the Greek Dark Ages, the civilization that was thriving was the Mycenaean civilization, which is Greek. The Minoan civilization, which is Crete. And of course, ancient Sumer and Kemet. Those were the civilizations dominating pre-Dark Ages. Post-Dark Ages, you have the rise of archaic Greek, the Roman Republic, kings of Macedonia. Now, keep in mind, after the Dark Ages and the Renaissance, this is basically, you got two Renaissance in history. You got the Renaissance in the 1400s after the Dark Ages in modern time. And then you got this Renaissance after the Greek Dark Ages. It was a Renaissance. Look at this. Look at the civilizations that rose up after the Dark Ages. Look at that. The Roman Republic, archaic Greek. Look, the Ptolemies. A couple hundred years down the line, the Ptolemies came. This is when the Europeans, as far as we know, came into civilization. This is when they came on the map, especially with the Ptolemies. The Macedonians was basically ruling in their land. But when the Ptolemies came on the scene, the Ptolemies came south. They came south, which would be into Africa. And it was Alexander the Great, the Macedonian, who conquered Africa or Egypt. And then after Alexander, the Ptolemaic dynasty begins. See that? That's when the Europeans ran up into Africa. That's when we started documenting the European history in Africa, when the Ptolemies came. And then the rise of Rome, the Roman Empire rises when? 30 BC. The Herodian dynasty, 47 BC to 100 AD. We got the histories right here. And this is just a fragment of history. This ain't even, you know what I mean? All history. This is just a fragment of history. We come up. A cycle after. Look at that. Boom. 1553 BC. See, we got history. So I don't give a damn who we dealing with, whether it be a Kemetic nigga or Israelite. We got history. The New Kingdom right here. The New Kingdom ended in 1069 BC. The New Kingdom ended during the time of the Dark Ages. The so-called Greek Dark Ages, or the first Dark Ages, is right here. And notice, look what happens after the Dark Ages. During the Dark Ages, Israel goes into captivity. That's when Ajah fall. Baal inspired Israel, 1069 BC. See that? This is the God of Israel. This is their Yahweh right here. They don't even know it. Till this day, they don't know it. They being told it, but they still don't get it. They still don't believe. Kings of Israel reign right here. From 1025 BC to 586 BC. That's when the reign of Israel was. That little space of time is when Israel had their kingship. Look at that in comparison to Egypt. Egypt reigned from 3100 BC to Narmer's time, all the way to the Persian to the Persians came in the 6th century, and then the Ptolemies or the Greeks after. They had thousands of years of reign, but Israel had a little 400-year reign, a little less than 400-year reign, a little over 400 years the Israelites ruled before they went into captivity. They went into captivity 722 BC and 586 BC, Assyrian and Babylonian captivity. Then 450 BC, when they returned from captivity under the authority of Cyrus the Great, the Lord God, because I wanted to hit that dude in the chat who was talking about, well, how are we gonna, if he said, he made a statement like, how we gonna get what did he say about the technology? Like if we enslaved, then we don't have the resource, or we got to depend on our enemies, or say the colonizer or whatever. You think you're going to give us the science to really do the research ourselves or whatever? And I was going to hit him with the, the Lord used Cyrus for Israel to rebuild the second temple, and that's not part of a nation. I was just going to hit him with that. But nonetheless, Cyrus, by God through Cyrus, influenced the Israelites to go back to Jerusalem to rebuild the second temple. And by 450 BC, Tanakh is compiled, men of the Great Assembly, influenced by Luamung. Then not too long after that, when the Ptolemies come on the scene, the Septuagint is claimed to be created, and I'm doubting that now. I'm doubting that. That Septuagint, that Greek Septuagint, that shit wasn't compiled then. There is no evidence. When you look up the oldest Greek Bible, you ain't gonna find one. You ain't gonna find one until much, much later. I'm talking about a codex, a complete codex. You don't find one until what they call the Codex Vernatica. And that came much later. And it's the same thing with the Tanakh. You don't have a Tanakh at 450 BC that you could date. The complete Tanakh that we have is from the Aleppo Codex. Look at this. Where that? Film distribution. Look at this. This is the oldest Bible right here on record. Even the Mishnah of the 2nd century BC, there's no complete codex of that either. They just show you pages, but they won't show you a complete book to say, like, look, this is it. Jerusalem Talmud, same thing with that. They'll just show you a piece of a page, but they won't show you the whole book. Like, here, look, this is it. See all that? The Codex Sinaiticus, right there. The Codex Sinaiticus. The Codex Sinaiticus. That's the oldest Greek goddamn version, and that's the 5th century Common Era. The Codex Sinaiticus. That's the complete version of the Greek text. But that's in the 5th century Common Era. It don't go back to Ptolemy the 2nd century BC. So the Jerusalem Talmud, all this is 4th century CE. These are your oldest texts. So keep in mind, Babylonian Talmud, 6th, 10th century. These are just scripts from a manuscripts. Scroll. There is no complete book. They would have showed the shit. They showing you a page out of a book. Or not even that. That shit may not even be a page out of a book. Yeah, we don't get shoot. We don't get no real Bible until goddamn way down the line of history. Then your boy, Pope Damascus, what did he do? He presided over the Council of Rome of 382 that determined the canon or official list of sacred books. See that? So these niggas ain't have no codex. They didn't have they just had scripts all over the place. Scrolls all over the place. They didn't have no one set book during these times. Now you may get the first complete with your boy Frumentius. See that? And I asked your boy, I asked that to? Moses. I said, yo, Moses, what's the oldest book? He said the Ethiopian Bible. Got him. I said, nigga, Frumentius brought the Bible to Ethiopia, and the nigga was a Macedonian. The nigga ain't have nothing for that. See, that's what I said, man. These niggas ain't well studied, bro. You know what I mean? You in the house of gods, boy, and you ain't studied. That nigga brought Ethiopia. Not only did he brought Christianity in Ethiopia, he brought the Episcopal, the bishop's seat of authority. He brought that shit into Ethiopia. He brought that. That's Luamung right there. See the throne? See the throne? That's a throne. Them niggas playing God. He's sitting in that chair, nigga. You playing God. Who sits in the... Let's get the sitting gods. Let's get the sitting gods. There you go. There you go right there. See? See how he's sitting? See how God is sitting on the throne? That's it right there. Nigga sitting on the throne. They got that from Rome. Sitting on the throne. They got that from Rome. There you go. The Episcopal, the bishop's seat of authority. Talking about the Ethiopian Bible. Nigga, go ahead with the Ethiopian Bible, nigga. That shit come out of Rome too. See that? First East translated of the New Testament. Niggas don't know what they're talking about. Let me go down to the Codex. See, they go again, history and timeline. We put everything on the timeline. No matter what we're dealing with, we put on the timeline. look, this is when you start getting your real complete text right here. The Leningrad Codex. This is your oldest Bible. You don't believe me? Watch this. What is the oldest Bible? Let's see what comes up. Or Hebrew Bible, I should have said. See that? What is the oldest Bible? It says the Codex Sinaiticus. The Codex Sinaiticus. Now let me put it, what is the oldest Hebrew Bible? What is the Codex Sassoon? Now stands as the earliest, most complete Hebrew extant. Let's put that in. Let me see what they're talking about. First look, Codex. See, now this is what we got to find. That's a complete book. So if the Greek Septuagint that Ptolemy II influenced, we have to see a book like this from the Ptolemaic dynasties. We don't see a complete Greek Bible until the Common Era. They're showing a book or whatever. The earliest, most complete copy of the Hebrew Bible is actually a book known as Codex Sassoon, named for its most prominent modern owner, David Salom Sassoon, 1880, look at that, to 1942. A passionate collector of Judaic and Hebraic manuscripts dating to the late 9th or 10th century, Codex Sassoon contains all 24 books of the Hebrew Bible, missing only 12 leaves, and precedes the earliest entire complete Hebrew Bible, the Leningrad Codex, by nearly a century. On May 17th, 2023, it comes to the block at Sotheby's with an estimate of 30 to 50 million. Codex Sassoons could become the most valuable historical document ever told. So now, sold at an auction. So they put a date of nearly a century, which is 100 years before the Leningrad Codex. Now the Leningrad Codex I already had on here, right here. So so 900 to 1000 AD at best. Nigga will give you 800, between 800 to 100 Common Era. Is the oldest manuscript of the Hebrew Bible. Look at that. Huh? It says, look, and precedes the earliest entirely complete Hebrew Bible, the Leningrad Codex, by nearly a century. Here's the Leningrad Codex right here, and it predates nearly a century. So if we go with 1,000 Common Era, it'll be 900. If you go with 900, it'll be 800. But nonetheless, that shit don't go back to 450 BC. Prior to it being a codex like this, more likely, it was scrolls. Scrolls. Because prior to the codex, now keep in mind, this is the oldest entire complete Bible. So prior to that, there was no complete Bible. Everything would have been fragments of manuscripts. Because prior to that Bible would have been what? Let me go back up. Well, not Jerome. Well, it would have been what? The Ethiopian Bible. Now, because the Ethiopian Bible, it has a date of what? Right here. The Garma Gospels are two ancient Ethiopic Gospels, books Garmia. Two, the earliest of the two, is believed to be the earliest surviving complete illuminated Christian manuscript. Monastic's tradition holds that they were composed close to the year 500. See that? That's Common Era, AD. a date supported by recent radiocarbon analysts simply from Garmia to propose a date of 390 to 570 Common Era, while counterpart dating of sample from Garmia 1 proposed a date of 530 to 660 Common Era. So the Ethiopian Bible, which is a couple centuries older than the what's the name of that new one? The Codex Sassoon. The Codex Sassoon, you know what I mean? So it's interesting how they classify the Codex Sassoon as the oldest complete Bible when you supposedly have the Ethiopian Bible older than that by a couple hundred years. See that? But even with that, it's not, none of this is going back to the time period that it's supposed to be wrote. And this, keep in mind, this is the guy who brought it in Ethiopia. This is the guy who brought the Bible into Ethiopia, into Africa. Saint Frumentus, the Macedonian, the Greek, born in Phoenicia, born in Tyre. He gave you, look what he holding. That's part of the damn Bible right there. He holding that shit, bringing it into Ethiopia. Yeah. And he got it translated into Ge'ez. See that? Oh, the Bible is in Ge'ez, man. That's original. Nah, nigga, that shit was translated. In about 347 Common Era, Anastasius ordained Frumentius bishop and commissioned him to initiate the cultural adaptation of Greek Christianity's biblical and liturgical text to Ethiopic symbols and languages. Nigga, that's it. Ain't nothing else to talk about. That's the highlight right there. That's the proof that the Ethiopian Bible is not an original book. It was translated by the Bible that Frumentius brought in. It says, initiate the cultural adaptation of Greek Christianity, biblical liturgical text to Ethiopic symbols and languages. Nigga, ain't nothing else to talk about. There you go right there. And who was behind it? Anastasius. He ordained Frumentius bishop and commissioned him to do that. You wouldn't have an Ethiopian Bible if it wasn't for this guy. He commissioned that. Him. He's the one who said, oh, man, our boys better leave me alone. This is the guy who commissioned Frumentius. Anastasius commissioned Frumentius to give you what you know as this right here. To give you what you know as this right here. Don't come talking no Ethiopian Bible to me. See that? See that? There it is. There it is. Because just old and ancient, you know, they go to the old ancient book, you know, Ethiopia, you know, Bible, thing, this Ge'ez language, this. Nah, dog. These black men that's holding this book came from, so the same way we got bamboozled with the King James Version in America is the same way the Ethiopian got bamboozled by this guy, Anastasius, commissioned this guy, Frumentius, to give you that book. Come on now. What it say? That's Frumentius. What we just read. How they get it? Anastasius, him ordained Frumentius bishop and commissioned him. And what commissioned him to initiate the cultural adaptation of Greek Christianity's biblical liturgical text to Ethiopic symbols and languages. Nigga ain't nothing else to talk about. He wouldn't have this right here. He wouldn't have this if it wasn't for him. If it wasn't for him. Where he from? Where he from? Where he from? Rome. Rome. That's why I said Rome gave you the Ethiopian Bible. He gave you that. Look at that. He from Alexandria. Rome, Egypt. That's who gave you the Ethiopian Bible. You niggas better not never in your life get in the ring with me debating Bible. Because I'm a ragdoll, you niggas. Don't talk about John Bilal. Niggas want to worry about the dentist. You need to be worrying about these influence that the Europeans had over your Bible decades and centuries ago. Thousands of years. You niggas want to talk about the Ethiopian Bible. A Roman, Alexandrian, European is behind it. The colonizers got these niggas too. The colonizers got these niggas too. He don't look like the brightest man. Got him. Got him. Look at him. Got him. Oh, you thought because it came out of Ethiopia, it was all good, huh? Nah, man. I'm giving you the truth. Look at that. That don't look like no goddamn Bantu Negro from the Congo. Got a little African, he's a little dark skin, but come on now. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. What's that? That's in the Bible. This is in the Ethiopian Bible. The black man is the devil with the horns on his head. And then you got the lighter skin with the straight hair. Huh? You want to talk about goddamn the ions being white and yellow, but what about this? Look at the drunk. If we want to use a waspy, look at the drunk on the ground. They got horns on this nigga. At least in the Owaspy, ain't got no horns on no niggas' heads. Ain't no depictions of dark-skinned meat people with horns on their heads in the Owaspy. But here we have it in the Ethiopian Bible. With the goddamn nigga with a skirt on up to his above his knees, with a sword, with a chain in his hand. Now, what is that symbolic? Revelations. When Jesus is supposed to come back and put Satan in chains and lock him up for 1,000 years. This is what that is symbolically showing. Does this nigga look like Yahshua? Look at that. That nigga look like that nigga look like this nigga. This nigga look like this nigga. What we talking about? See that? You think Arthanis ain't be like, you know what? Lighten the nigga up a little bit. Lighten Jesus up a little bit. Not a nigga too dark. Matter of fact, make the devil darker. Put an afro on the devil. Put some horns on him. That's the nigga. But Jesus, lighten that nigga up. Give him some straight hair like my hair. This is what Anathathius is telling Frumentius to do. There go Anathathius. There go Frumentius. These the two niggas right here. These are two niggas right here behind this. Behind your Ethiopian Bible. Ain't nothing else to talk about over here. Ain't nothing else to talk about over here. More pictures from the Ethiopian Bible. Look at that. Like Malachi Maccabee say, that don't look like no Bantu Negroes from the Congo. See that? This is the Ethiopian Bible. Who influenced this Bible? Got to be real, fam. See that? They go Frumentius Bible right there. They go Frumentius Bible. The oldest known Bible. Look at that. See that? Oh, the Ethiopian Bible this, the Ethiopian Bible that. This is who gave you the Ethiopian. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have no Ethiopian Bible. You'll have your tradition that you had before they came into Africa and gave you that. See that? These are the crusaders of Ethiopia. These are the Christians of Ethiopia. These are Lua monks, influencers that came into Africa and hit them niggas with scripture. Known as the Ethiopian Bibilcal. Look at that. The Episcopal. This is the Ethiopian. He brought the Episcopal to Ethiopia. Look at these cats. Rome all over their face. Rome all over their face. Look at the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Look at the church. Huh? Look at the church. Look at the Episcopal. And look at the church. See the influence? See the influence? See that? All this right here is influenced by this one man right here. Mm-hmm. The reason they got this proceeding in this whole culture is because of Frumentius. Look at that. See the Episcopal? The seat of authority centered right there. Same look. See the Episcopal? See it? See the seat? See the semblance in Ethiopia? See the semblance? Resemblance? Mm-hmm. It's a hard pill to swallow. See that? Look, these are your Coptic Christians. See that? Ethiopian patriot thanks Russian church for support. Look at these cats. Interesting. So yeah, yo. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Give me a 1 in the chat. And the family. It's a blood clot 5. Give me a 1 in the chat. Easy work. It's a blood clot 5. That's the blood clot code, you know. It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, Leon, slavery of the blood clot mind, indeed. Somebody asked me about the Kibonigas. The Kibonigas, this is a much later source. Much later source. The Kibonigas, or the glory of the kings, is what? 4th century, 14th century. This is around the corner. This is very new. It's a national epic of Ethiopia written in Ge'ez by this person of Aksum. So, look, the text in its existing form is at least 700 years old and is considered by many Ethiopian Christians to be a historical, reliable work. It is considered to hold the genealogy of the Ptolemaic dynasty, which follows the Ethiopic Orthodox Church. Backdrop. The text contains the account of how Queen of Sheba. So this is a much later work. This came 14th century Common Era. This is right around the corner. If they say it's much older, so it'll fall right back into still the influence of Frumentius, because this is coming after Frumentius. And it's talking about Queen of Sheba and Solomon. So the Ethiopians would not be talking about a Queen of Sheba and a Solomon if it wasn't for Frumentius in the first place. Feel me? He's the one who gave you the text, and from there, like any other book, they start branching out and creating other schools of thought from that one book. So now, let me see, come down. Let me see where we are with the Ethiopic. The Ethiopic. So see, look, the Ethiopic. So the Ethiopian Bible inspired by Rome, Izana of Aksum, 320 to 360 Common Era. So the Ethiopian Bible came first, and then the Negus, the Kibra Negus would have been influenced off of the Ethiopian Bible. So the Kibra Negus is still influenced by Frumentius, still a work of Rome. Still a work of Rome. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, my lord, how Rome have so much power and influence over the world. How valid is that genealogy? Which genealogy, King? Which genealogy are we referring to? Shout out to the God. Peace to Max and Muck, man. What genealogy are you referring to, King? I must have missed it. I was going through a lot. And it's crazy because now look, the Codex Sassoon, right? Oh, no. That's a belief because they going off of what the doctrine say. So they can't prove authorship of the doctrine. They can't prove authorship of Solomon. You know what I mean? It's a legacy, I should say. You know. Yeah. There may be some validity to that, but the way it's looking, because all the historical books is coming from the Common Era. You know what I mean? A lot of it is coming way after the time period that these Solomon would have. Solomon, you talking Solomon is like, shit, 10th century, 9th century BC. We getting complete manuscripts of complete Bibles, 6th century, 9th, 7th century, 10th century Common Era. Thousands of years, hundreds of years later. So Solomon, But even with, look, they say the earliest complete copy of the Hebrew is known as the Codex Sassoon. And this is the guy. What's his name? Let me see if they're going to show a picture of him. Look, there he is. That ain't no Bantu Hebrew nigga from the Congo. This is the guy who's responsible for the oldest Bible. Look at that. Boy, y'all niggas just gave me more fuel to add on to these goddamn docs. Boom. I got it right here. Look. Look at that. The earliest, most complete copy of the Hebrew Bible is actually a book known as Codex Sassoon, named for its most prominent modern owner, David Solomon Sassoon, a passionate collector of Judaic and Hebraic manuscripts dating to the late or 10th century Common Era. And this is the guy who they named the book after. That ain't no Bantu Negro from the Congo. Where's the black man? Moses? You talking all the black man Bible and where? Huh? Where? This the oldest complete copy, and he behind it. He by his face behind it. Read a little bit of what he's saying. Undoubtedly, the most avid and prolific collector of Judaic of the Sassoon dynasty was David Sassoon, born December 8th, 1880 in Bombay. David was named for his paternal grandfather. Like his mother, David was educated in Jewish subject as well as Arabic reading and writing by imported Baghdad tutors, namely Rabbi Isaac Agussa and Joshua Abraham, 1854 to 1915. So look, this man wasn't no dum-dum. He could speak Arabic. And it says imported by Baghdad tutors. So you got Jews and Babylonian Jews. Them Babylonian Jews still out there. Now, good Lord. So this the man who gave you, you know what I mean? I guess this the family tree from left to right. Selena, Solomon, David. Flori, the mother of David Solomon. Flora, daughter of David Solomon, and Selena. And David Solomon Sassoon. So that's that. That's the family tree. They don't look like no Bantu Negroes from the Congo discovering and revamping and finding and bringing out and naming after complete Codex Bible. Nah, bro. You niggas was sojourning in Africa when Europeans like Frumentius was digging in the heart of Africa. Matter of fact, look, think about it now. Remember, the fall of Jerusalem was 70 AD, Common Era. So by the time Frumentius ran through Africa and Ethiopia to bring this Bible, guess who would have been there? Your black ass. Your black ass would have been running in the heart of Africa, sojourning. So when Frumentius came with the Bible, he gave you back your book. He gave you back your book with a German twist on it, with a Greek twist on it. That's crazy. We just vibing out, family. You know how we do. You know how we do. Peace, Mike Cal. Peace to the righteous God. I think Moses is almost there, though, because he was talking about the vortex was the creator, calling the creator of the universe. Right. You see, Mike, that's what I question a nigga on. Because I was playing chess with the nigga, because in one breath, he wants you to believe in the Bible, but in another breath, he's telling you that the universe is the creator. So when I asked him the question, I was specific. I said, you believe the Bible. In the Bible, it says, in the beginning, God created. That God in the Hebrew, when you look at the Strong's Concordance, I said it says Elohim. And then I said, when you go to the root word, the parrot word, it says El, the singular. I said it is El the Most High. And then the nigga ran off somewhere else with it. He started drifting off, going, well, see, the Elohims are our ancestors. Nigga, I ain't asked you that. I asked you a simple question. Is El the Most High? Simple, nigga. That's a yes or no answer. If you say yes, I got you. And you got to say yes, because if you don't say yes, then who is this nigga creating? Because he's responsible for creating the heaven and the earth. And the African kings and Elohims you claim is behind this man. Because if you would have said yes to that answer, that yes, El is the Most High, then you cannot say that the universe is God, the Most High. Because El Elohim, this is El. This is El. Let me show you El. See, we got to put things in perspective and make it make sense to show these cats. Yo, you gotta know what you're talking about. You never see creator getting caught out there like that. You know what I mean? Mistaking L for the universe and crazy shit like that. Now, let me show you something. Family. Now, he said the Most High is the universe. Now, this is a universe. A universe is one vortex. You have a universe, and then you have multi-universes right here. Multi-universes. A multiverse is more than one universe. He said the Most High is the universe. Now, a simple definition of universe encompasses all things space-time continuum, but within space-time continuum, you have other universes within universes within universes. So which universes of the Most High? But nonetheless, I'm going to hold him on this question as far as he said the Most High is the universe. There's the universe. This is the universe, right? Now, I asked him, like, there is no, first I would just make it clear, there's nowhere in the Bible where the Most High is the universe. It doesn't say that in the Bible. He admit that. Then I asked him, is the Most High God El? And that's when he started tap dancing. Because if he would have said yes, I would have said, if that's the case, the Bible describes El right here. This is El right here. And it even says it right there. What does that say? El, Father of the gods. Because we went to the Elohims. Elohims is plural, many more than one. But if El is the chief presider over the gods, that means El is the Most High. That's why I was trying to get this nigga to confess, but he didn't want to confess because he would have put himself in the trap. So, if El is the Most High, which it is according to the Bible, this is El. He sits on the throne. We got to Zaryak admitting that God sits on the throne. So, I would have trapped him up and said, the universe right here is not described in the Bible. But that which is described in the Bible is this guy, the God of Israel. The God who said, let us make man in our image. This is the image of a man sitting on the throne. That's El. See, El, Father of the gods. But this is not this. The universe is not this. The biblical God, who you claim to be the Most High, is not the universe. The universe comes from Creator. And your Bible don't speak of a universe. Your Bible don't speak of how a universe is formed and created like this vortex you see right here. OSP speaks of how this is created, how worlds are created. And the universe is a product of creation. It's a product of the Creator's work. The Creator is before and beyond vortices and universes. Universes have to be created. But this is God. This is the universe. So that's why I held him down. I said, you can't have it both ways. Universe is not mentioned in the Bible as the Most High, but God is described in the Bible as the Most High. The Most High God. Yup. Easy work in the blood clot. You seen the setup? You seen the setup coming, King? The setup was coming, indeed. Even with the other guy, when I asked him about West African history, I said, nigga, what is the history of West Africa, 3rd millennium BC, 2nd millennium BC? And he ain't have nothing. He ain't have nothing. You know what I mean? And the reason I asked that because, just studying history, we see when we deal with 4th millennium BC, 3rd millennium BC, 2nd millennium BC, all the history is within from South Africa, East Africa, from basically the Nile River going east to the Levant and to Mesopotamia. From the Mesopotamian rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates, to the Nile Valley is where you see most of the history going back to the 4th, 3rd, 2nd millennium BC. But you don't see that in West Africa. That's why I asked him. I said, he started to go, well, see the money of the art. No. We don't got to go there. Because the archaeological evidence will speak for itself if it's there. If there was pyramids in West Africa, there is nothing to talk about. It'll be like, nigga, they go to your objective proof. You don't have to subjectively explain something to me that's, not even what I'm asking. I'm asking, nigga, can you prove historical history going back to the 3rd, 2nd century BC, 3rd, 2nd millennium BC? And if you do prove it, how much evidence of it can be substantiated to validate it on the level of ancient Kemet? You know what I mean? We got Narmer palette. We got Narmer, they got the whole way he probably came from, the name, how you could decipher the glyph. Where is that in West Africa? Because West African history is fairly new. You know what I mean? That shit is fairly new. You don't even hear about that in the in the BC. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, though, you say nope, he was just ranting. Yeah, Moses was ranting away, boy. This nigga was just taking over the show, ranting like a little kid and shit. I'm like, my nigga, like, goddamn. Talk like an adult. I'm like, talk like an adult for a change. Like, but that just goes to show you that, you know what I mean? Not everybody got that shit like they think they have it when they question on it. Yeah, we just vibing out, family, for the moment. Just vibing out for the moment. Wanted to hop on live with the fam after hopping off of Sa. Yeah, them boys don't want to get in the ring, yo. Them boys don't want to get in the ring. Let me show that timeline. It's a blood clot vibes. It's a blood clot vibes. Facts, yeah, that's what I said. They can't get past the authorship, but you know what I mean? That's another monkey wrench on their end, because if you can't get past the authorship, how can you get past Narmer that got chopped off heads of African people below their legs and you still follow Kemet? How can you follow Kemet? Matter of fact, let me pull up the Narmer palette for the fam, yo. Let me pull up the Narmer palette. Let's make this make sense. Let's make this make sense. They can't get past John Newbro being a dentist. But let's make this picture right here make sense. It's in color too. Let me see if they got the whole thing on front and back. All right, perfect. They got the front and back in color. Perfect. If they let me show it. Let me see. You know what? Let me go back. I don't even need to go there. I can just lift it here. Now look. Now they say they can't get past the fact that a dentist wrote the Owaspi. That's hard for them. But now when we go back to Narmer, this is the Narmer palette. This goes back. Look at the date. It says 3200 to 3000 BC. So this is 3rd millennium BC, right? And what do you see here? You see the oldest form of black on black crime. You see Narmer wearing the crown. That's the crown of the South, if I'm not mistaken. And then you see him over here wearing the crown of the North, right? So that's showing the unification of the upper and lower. He's conquering. But look at the people he's conquering. John Bilal Newbro just had a spiritual experience and wrote the Owaspi, being a dentist as a tradesman. But look at Narmer, the founder of the dynasty. And look what he's doing. He got a brother by the hair. Look at that brother. He got an afro, and he's grabbing him by the hair, and he has a club in this hand about to strike him to kill him. But you think he's going to strike him and let him go? He's striking to kill. Black on black crime, 32, 3rd millennium BC. You could get over this and study and follow Kemetic history and black power this, but you can't get over the fact that a European who had a trade as a dentist wrote the Owaspi. Now, look at below Narmer's feet. These are dead brothers that he killed. Black on black crime. This is the first memorial of black on black crime. Show me something older than this of black people doing this to each other. Don't talk to me about the white man ever, because I'm going to always bring this up as a reminder to you where the white man got the behavior from. The Greeks learned from the Egyptians and the Africans and the Cometians, right? So when the Greeks came into Egypt to learn and they seen Narmer holding up that pallet, that club and striking the black man, the Europeans, the Greeks said, look, these niggas is warring among themselves. And this is the oldest monument they got of war, and they killing off. How they mad at us? Now let's look at this side of the palette. Don't talk to me about no goddamn colonizer. Narmer is colonizing his brother. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to deal with self-conviction. Y'all just want to put the blame on the white man when the white man got it from you niggas. Now let's go back to the normal palette. Let's go to the flip side. Let me get a close-up of the flip side so you can see what's going on. We need that in color. They got more of it in color. Look at that. See that? See the two dead brothers? See the brother? See Narmer? This is Narmer. Huh? Black on the first nigga to kill a nigga that we know on record. This is Cain. You know they say Cain killed Abel, his brother? This is the oldest nigga we got on record killing his brother that we could document historically. This is Cain right here. This is a drunk right here. Because look at his behavior. Look how he treated his brother. Look at that. It's the Narmer palette. Now let's focus on the flip side. That's Narmer. That's supposed to be his name chiseled right here. Catfish. And then look, you got the little people right here. Well, that's just how could they depict the image on here. I'm not going to take this for literal because look how Narmer, they're going to depict the king as a giant, always. But look what we have over here. We have brothers with their heads chopped off. Y'all see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 10 black men with their heads chopped off, put between their legs. This is on the Narmer palette. All this is black people. But you're mad at John Newbro. Let's pull up John Newbro. Let's get him upset. Let's get under their skin for a minute. This is John Newbro. John Newbro, right? As much as you hate John Newbro, right? As much as you say what you say about John Newbro and the Owaspi, right? It's John Newbro, the one who gave you the Owaspi. As much as you hate the white man, as much as you can't stand John Newbro the dentist, he has nothing compared to what Narmer, our brother, is doing to our own. You can't compare that. John Newbro ain't chop off 10 European heads and put them. John Newbro ain't doing warfare with his own people. John Newbro ain't standing in front of an. Hold on, let me get the palette. Let me get that colorful one. I like that colorful one. Yeah, the color show it all. Where that? And I can go to other African manuscripts of brother striking brother. Huh? That ain't no Bantu. I mean, that ain't no European. That's Negroes among Negroes fighting each other. And there's plenty of scripts we could pull up. Hold on. Where that Narmer palette in color? There we go. Boom. There we go. Yeah, let's play. Yeah, let's goddamn play now. Look at that. Huh? Look at that. You don't see John Newbro doing that. He was told to get a typewriter, stop eating meat, and how you niggas is upset with a man. If you read the biography, he was told to get a typewriter. He was told to stop eating meat. He compiled the Owaspi, got it published. That's it. All that extra shit is rumors and motherfucking fabrications. Rumor report. Cosmo Callan exposed the rumors. The starvation kids. That shit ain't even have nothing to do with this nigga. That shit, the percent of the grass eaters, all that shit was before goddamn Owaspi was even transmuted, nigga. Nigga been cleared that up, so you can't run that no more. You can't run none of them what you thought no more because the shit then got cleared up. A lot of it was rumors and lies. And we got the sources and documents to prove it. So John Blanc Newbro was told to get a typewriter to write the Owaspi. He was told to go on a vegetarian diet. And he described, John Blanc Newbro described how he lost weight, he felt better. But y'all mad because the European, it came through a European, but you're not addressing this though. You're not addressing, you overlooked this. You dust this under the rug quick just to get back to talk shit about him. But we don't see no pictures of John Newbro doing this. We don't see no pictures of John Newbro doing this to his own white man. We don't even see white on white crime with the compiling of the Owaspy with John and Bernardo Newbro. We don't see black on white. We don't see white on black crime. You don't see John Newbro goddamn killing niggas. There's no rumor reports about that. The starving infants and all that was made up. It was fabricated. Niggas was hating on the goddamn Brotherhood of Light. You niggas read the articles. It's out there. Cosmon brought it out. But y'all overlooked John Newbro. Y'all overlooked Narmer, the first African king recorded in history, slaying brother. Cain killed Abel. And then to make matters worse on his side, you see it. Look at the brothers. See the chopped off heads? They bound them. You see how they got them bound with the yellow rope? They bound them and then chopped their heads off and placed it between their legs. This is Narmer. This is your first African king killing his own African people. Where is the white man? Why isn't it 10 white people getting their heads chopped off? Why isn't it 10 Asiatics or Asians getting their heads chopped off? Why isn't the Tamil getting their goddamn heads chopped off? These niggas is copper-colored, brown-skinned brothers with their heads chopped off, orchestrated by this guy here. Which one of you niggas gonna glory in the Narmer palette? You should throw this shit in the goddamn trash and take a hammer and break this shit into chisels. Because this is an embarrassment to black people. Because now you're showing the Europeans that, look, the niggas been fighting each other 3,000 years ago before we even came on the scene. Now the Europeans can say, look, you can't blame us. You niggas was doing black on black crime in 3000 BC before we came on the scene. They can use that now. As long as you niggas stay on that black power shit, and the more these Europeans study, they're going to do the same thing I'm doing. They're going to use self-conviction until you wake up and rise above the carnal state and see information and truth for what it is and stop playing these goddamn race guards. Stop playing these colonizer games, nigga. Narmer is a colonizer, nigga. Huh? You think with them people who Narmer killing wherever they was living at, you think he ain't take over that land? He colonized that land? Them people he got right here who done chopped their heads off right here. You think they ain't colonized these people land wherever they was living at? Y'all can't run that Narmer. Y'all can't run that John Newbro shit. Because no matter where I go, when y'all bring that up, I'm going to bring this up. And every time I bring this up, they're going to try to drift it back to John Newbro. Well, nah, brother. See, we not know. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Because if you blame the European for the enslavement of black people, and then we have a monument showing black people enslaving black people 3000 BC, and then when we go to the Bible in Leviticus, it talks about how the goddamn a slave works for a nigga for 6 years, and then you let him free us. You know what I mean? The treatment of a slave is in the Bible. The Europeans used the Bible to enslave you niggas in the slave trade. So what is you talking about? However you want to twist it, it's always going to come right back to your black ass. Easy work, man. Easy blood clot work, my lad. You know what I mean? Oh, my camera went out. Easy blood clot work, you know. That's why they better watch out, boy. We covering all grounds, nigga. Whatever you come in, we got something for whatever you come in. And if we don't got it, nigga, we gonna put it together eventually. Where's that Snoop? Where's that big man Logic yourself? Cosmo and Cal in the building. Peace to the righteous God. Peace to the righteous God. You missed it earlier. I was on goddamn Sunday beating up Moses and shit. That boy loose. Boy, like a loose cannon, my lad. Yeah, man, you miss it, Cosmo. Now beat up them boys there. Beat up them boys, Moses, them. Them boys can't toilet. So look, now that's why I said we got these niggas, however. The year 3761 BC, first week of creation, spring month. First day of creation. This is the biblical tale. Time was created. God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. 24-hour periods. There you go. So it took 144 hours for God to create the heavens and the earth, according to the Bible. If you want to go with the 6,000 year in there, well, they go yom a day, so 24 hours. See, I'm not making this shit up. They get mad when I talk like this. In the Bible, it says a day. Yom is a day. And look, it don't say nothing about 1,000 years nowhere in the Strong's Concordance. And it's crazy because Moses held up the Strong's Concordance in his hand. And I'm like, bro, nigga, that's James Strong, the white man. How you going to talk all this black African liberation talk when everything you sourcing comes from the Europeans? So how can you determine which is back influence from the Bible when they had so much influence over it? Nigga, you can't say yay or nay. Yom is a day. Right here it says day, time, chronicle, daily, year, continually, when, as, while. But look, it has day. And year is even inconsistent because it doesn't take a year for the sun to set. And then it says there, day, a day, 24-hour period. So you can't get mad when somebody says God created the heavens and the earth in 6, in a day is 24 hours, or 144,000 hours. 144,000 minutes. In 144,000 hours, God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Now, if there was 1,000 years, like I said, the word for 1,000 is elif, and that's it. 1,000, and you see it 1,000. I'm showing and proving, and you don't see elif, the word used nowhere in the creation story. Nowhere is this Hebrew word aleph used from Genesis chapter 1 to Genesis chapter 2. This word is not present, and this word means 1,000. If this was present, I wouldn't even be making the argument. Matter of fact, I'll be proving the argument. Like, look, nigga, there is 1,000 years. There you go. They go to the Hebrew word alif, and it's affiliated with 1,000. But we can't say that because the Hebrew word yom is used, and yom is associated with a day, 24-hour period. And then when we come down to the chart, hold on, there we go. When we come down to the chart, they go to 1,000 years. If you want to believe that it's a day is 1,000 years, there you have it. That's the chart. So most people is going to follow the 1,000-year measurement. They're going to say, well, I don't believe in the 6 day. That's allegory. God was playing around when he said that. I don't believe that. That's not true. Okay, although it say it, you don't believe it now. Okay. But you feel that 6,000 years sounds more logical. 6,000 years. All right, so you use 6,000 years. Now keep in mind, it's already established that they got a beginning point of the creation, 3761 BC. Regardless of how they feel, I don't give a damn who you're talking to. I don't give a damn if they disagree with this date. The date still stands. How many niggas disagree with the Roman calendar, but you follow that shit every year, every day? You determine Passover off the Roman calendar. So don't act like you know that don't count. This date don't count. 3761 BC is the starting point. So if a day is 1,000 years, the first day of creation will be the starting point would be 3761 BC, and 1,000 years from that will be the first day. See, when we pin these niggas down, they don't want to play no more. This is the first day. Look at this chart. I put the time period on it. The first day of creation from 3761 BC, 1,000 years would be 2761 BC. So from 3761 BC to 2761 BC is when God created light and darkness. That's the date. That's the date. Look at the second day. Look at that chart for a quick second. And look at the dates below it. And tell me, does that make sense? Tell me, does that make sense? Yep. Excuse me. Look at that. Now look at the 6th day. That's when man was created. So if we go from 6,000 years, from 3761 BC, it's going to bring us to 1230 1239 Common Era. That's the beginning of the 6th day. So man would have been created between 1239 AD and 2239 AD in the future, because we in the year 2024. So we in the 6th day of creation right now, if you're using the 1,000 year count. See that? See that? So regardless if you want to use the 6th day creation or if you want to use the 6,000 year creation, you're still going to be locked in this time frame. The Hebrew calendar. When does the Hebrew calendar begin? What does that say, family? What did I type in? When does the Hebrew calendar start? You could do this you could Google this right now on your phone. And look what it says. October 7th. 37. How the hell are you going to say creation started October 7th using a Roman date? How are you going to use the Roman calendar for 3761 BCE? And then look, Monday. Well, let me read this shit, Joe. This shit is nuts. Look what it states. The initial epoch for the new moon is 11:20 p.m. at the meridian of Jerusalem on Monday, 7th October, 3761 BCE. Proliptic Julian calendar, Jerusalem longitude is 2 hours, 21 minutes east of Greenwich. This begins the Jewish calendar, 1 Tashra a.m. Yo, look at that. So you could do that. The beginning of the world started in October. Right there. October 7th is when God said, God created the earth on the 7th day. How are you going to create the earth and heaven on the 7th, October 7th? The 7th day of the month is when this shit don't even make no sense. Wouldn't it make more sense for God to create October 1st? Like start on the 1st? How are you going to go to October 7th and say, all right, God, we're going to create the heavens and the earth starting now, October 7th. So the 7th is the first day then. It don't even make no sense. But I'm showing you to show this is the date that they have on record for creation. This is when everything created. This is the Jewish. You niggas is Jewish. You niggas want to be Hebrews. If you do not accept this, what do you replace it with? What do you replace it? What day does the Hebrew calendar start? Rosh Hashanah. Well, no, that's just a yearly, regular. Huh? Where's Zion Lex at? Look at that. You deal with that Jewish, Yiddish, Talmudic, Hebraic. You deal with that. You speak in modern Hebrew. You speak in that Babylonian Aramaic. You speak in that Babylonian Aramaic. Come on now. We don't beat up Narmer. We don't expose that. 3761 BC. That's the date. Where they goddamn where that? Hold on. Here the Aramaic influence. So look. The language of the Targum, the Aramaic translation of the Hebrew Bible, it is also the language of what? The Jerusalem Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud, the Zohar. These are the books, these and the Zion Lex and all them niggas be studying. That shit is Aramaic translation. Right? And this Aramaic got some Babylonian influence. See, look. Right here. In around 700 BC, Aramaic slowly started to replace Akkadian in Assyria, Babylon, and the Levant. So back then, Aramaic was already being influenced in Assyria. 700 BC. So by the time Ezra comes on the scene, 450 BC, 4th millennium, 5th century BC, Ezra will be heavily influenced by the Aramaic or the Assyrian Aramaic. Look, by the 8th century BC, it had become accepted by the Assyrians as the second language. See that? So Aramaic, you have Assyrian and the Aramaic in Syria now. So these niggas replaced the cuneiform with Aramaic. Now, coming back to this date, 3761 BC, regardless of what these niggas talking about, they got to deal with this. If they don't deal with this, they got to replace this. See, we beat up your God and we replace it with something because we got something in replacement. We tear it down and we build it back up with something, with the truth, with the Creator. We break down your false God and we build you back up with Creator. Now, if you don't accept this date, if you break this date down, what you going to rebuild it back up with? What you got? What you got? What you got that's going to substantiate another date outside of this established date? This is a common date, 3761 BC. Let's hit the Jewish calendar. It says it, or that's just saying the same thing it says right here. We got Yale University right here. This is Yale University. See? Yale University library at that. And look what it says here. It's the same thing. The starting point of the Hebrew chronology is 3761 BC. That's Yale University, nigga. Y'all love to quote PhDs and scholars. You don't get no better than Yale, right? The Jewish calendar. Yeah, they got to deal with that. They got to deal with that 3761 BC. Look at the calendar. Look at the month. These are the Hebrew months right here. The Hebrew months. The name of the Hebrew months. And look, Tammuz is a Babylonian god. How you niggas is following by? Look at that. Look at that. Tammuz in the Mesopotamia region, god of fertility, embodying the power of new life in nature in the spring. How is a fertility god associated with the month of the Hebraic calendar? You know why? Because when your ass was in Babylon, when your ass was in captivity, you adopted all these names. But I ain't gonna say all of them, but you definitely adopted Tammuz because that's Babylonian. Tammuz, who is Tammuz? God of fertility. There he is right there. They got depictions of Tammuz. They even associated Tammuz versus Jesus. But what is a Babylonian god doing associated with one of your Hebrew calendar months? See that? And what month is that? That's June, July. See that? Yeah, man, it's over for you cats, yo. It's over for you cats, son. Your Jewish calendar starts in 3761. It's over for you, son. Your Hebraic calendar starts in 3761. Don't let me write no bars and start dissing you niggas on record. Let me do another goddamn FOP diss on one of you other cats. But look right here, look. Again. 3761 BC. They go to year. See, it's popping up again. 3 sources showing you that they all agree on one date. If you disagree that 3761 BC is the year God created the heavens and the earth, substitute it with something else and show me a consistency of that date outside of 3761. I showed you 3 consistencies right here. 3 websites that supports that date. And I'm sure there's more. So if you go by that date, 3761 BC, like you see on this chart, and if that's the year God created the heavens and the earth, then 3761 BC to 2761 BC would be the first 1,000 years when God said he created the light and the darkness and separated the light from the darkness, and the light was good. He called day, and the darkness he called night, and evening and morning were the first day. That first 1,000 years would have took place in 3761 to 2761 BC. See that? See how inconsistent that is? That's why I say, when you put this on the timeline, it's over. I'll shut down everything. Tazariot can't counter this. Zion Lex can't counter this. Moses definitely can't counter this. Can't Nan Hebrew counter this. And if they try, the more I'm going to scrutinize them, they're going to look stupid. Because 3761 BC to 2761 BC, you know what was going on around that time? Nigga Narmer was on the scene that time. Nigga Narmer. Narmer. Let's go back and get Narmer real quick. Let's get the date of Narmer. You remember what the date of Narmer was, right? If you forgot, let me get it. Let's see what date. Look at the date. Created 32 to 3000 BC. This is the date that the Narmer palette was created. When we go back to the chart and we look at the first day that God created the heavens and the earth, or when he created light and darkness, look at the date, 3761 BC to 2761 BC. Narmer would have been taking heads during the time God was separating light from darkness. There go Narmer. Look at the date, 32 to 3000 BC. That time period will fall within the first day of creation. Let me see if I got the other chart to show that. That's why Created Gang is deadly. Because we got them timelines and time charts. Do I got the pictures on there? I thought I had one with some pictures on there. Oh, there you go, right there. Yeah, that's even better. Now look. Remember the first day is from 3761 right here to 2761. 27. So on the first day of creation, when God said, "Let there be light," all this was going on historically. This is the difference between allegory, theology, and history. The historicity shows that Uruk, king priest of Anu, temple to Ziggurat, was 3500 BC. The migration into Egypt took place around that time. Mesopotamian goddess Inanna, 3300 BC. You have the Narmer palette, 3100 BC. Pre-dynastic Egypt, 3100 BC to 2690 BC. So all this history is going on when God said, "Let there be light," before there was even a foundation of the earth. Because the foundation of the earth took place on the, was it the third day? Yeah, the third day, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get it. Yeah, you gotta read the order of creation. You gotta read the order of creation. Look at the order of creation now. Genesis, let's go to Genesis, right? Let's go to chapter 1. Let me bring this over here. We beat up Narmer already. Well, Narmer, we showed him through the Narmer. Okay, what's the Jews? We beat up the calendar. Showed the Aramaic. All right, now look. When was the earth formed? Because the earth wasn't formed in chapter 2. I mean, the first day. Evening and morning were the first day. What did he create on this day? He created light, created darkness. That's what he created on the first day. There's no earth yet. Because remember, The earth was without form. There's no earth. It's void and darkness. That's what's going on. So he creates light and darkness first, on the first day. Then on the second day, he divides the water. Right? See, look. And God called the firmament heaven, and evening and morning were the second day. Heaven was created on the second day. Light and darkness was created on the first day. Heaven was created on the second day. And after heaven was created, God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered into one place and let dry land appear. The physical earth was created when? On the third day. This is the third day. He created dry land. He says God called the dry land earth. Right? But look how it ends off. Look what it states. And the evening and morning were the third day. God created the earth on the third day along with the fruits and vegetables. See that? So light and darkness on the first day, heaven on the second day, earth on the third day. That's the order. So on the first day of light and darkness, that will be the time period from 3761 BC to 2761 BC. So there is no foundation yet, but during this time, historically, Narmer is over here chopping off the heads of niggas. And then you got Mesopotamia rulership going on during the time that there was supposed to be no earth. The earth wasn't created until the third day. Let's go back up to the chart. Let's look at the third day. This is the third day. The third day would have started 1761 BC to 761 BC. That would have been the third day. So God created dry land, meaning the earth, in the year 761 BC. You can't get around this shit. See, I got this shit in the fucking grid, nigga. This is the World Wide Web. I got you locked in, nigga. You come in my world, you're going to get caught in my web. You know what I mean? You're going to get locked in that web, and I'm going to come as a spider, a black widow, and goddamn lace your ass up with the spider web and use you as bait somewhere. But once you come over here, man, you better have your shit together because I deal with everything on the timeline. God created the earth but God created the earth in 1,000 years, from 1761 BC to 761 BC. How foolish does that sound? And keep in mind, he created heaven on the second day. So the second day would be from 2761 BC to 761 BC. That's when God created heaven. That's what you got to contend with. And the best way they're going to try to write this off is by saying, well, we don't accept that date of 3761. We don't accept that. But you don't have to accept it. It's already established. You not accepting it is subjective. Objectively, they done came up with a date, 3761. That's what they sticking with. You can't go around and say you don't believe that and then don't have something to replace it with. It's over, yo. Look at this. This is what's going on when God is creating. The Nakata culture, early pre-dynastic Egypt on the first day of creation, light and darkness. When God created heaven, the old middle kingdom was thriving in Egypt. When God created dry land, being the earth, the new kingdom, the intermediate period of Egypt was thriving. The Greek Dark Ages came on the scene. Goddamn, Homer is coming on the scene. On the fourth day of creation is when archaic Greek rise on the scene. Homer is on the scene. The Israelites go into captivity on the fourth day of creation when God is creating the sun, moon, and stars. Your ass is going into captivity. On the fifth day, from 239 AD to 1239 AD, you got the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire. That's going on the fifth day when animals are created. And on the sixth day, because we're in the sixth day right now based off of this narrative, the sixth day started in 1239 AD, and it's going to end in 2239 AD in the future. So we're in the sixth day. In the sixth day, what happened with us? Transatlantic slave trade. 2024 present time. That's where we at right now. That's if you're going to use 1,000 years as a date of God with the starting point of 3761 BC, the date of creation, based off Jewish calendars. And they ain't come up with that date overnight. That date been established since the like the Masoretic text, the Babylonian Talmud, the Jerusalem, all around that time. 900 to first century. I mean 100 Common Era. That's when all that shit came on the scene. Yeah, man. Y'all ain't gotta understand though. Y'all can't play with the gang like that. Y'all can't play with the gang like that with this hanging over your head. Look at that. Look at Noah. Easy work, family. Easy blood cleats work, you know. Blood clot dada. It's a blood clot vibes. It's a blood clot vibes. That's a good question. Who gave them the timeline? Look where I said no. Look where I said, Bedrin. Although derived part from ancient Babylonian calendar, this version of the calendar is relatively new constructed. Look what it states. A group of 3 Jewish leaders, the Calendar Council, created the now fixed calendar around 350 Common Era, or 4110 in the Jewish system, to determine the year of the Jewish calendar. Add 3,760 years to the year of the Gregorian calendar if before 1 Tish. Add 3761 if Tish after the first Tish. The current year is 5782. So this calendar, this is a couple years old. But look, it states it right there. 350 Common Era. It says the Calendar Council. See that? 350 Common. That's right after the Council of Nicaea. That ain't too far after the Council of Nicaea. The Calendar Council. There you have it right there, beloved. Gartinius and Tubis explained that one of the main objectives of the calendar council was to ensure that the first day of each month aligned with the new moon, keeping the seasons in step with the lunar cycles over long periods. The council waited to hear from witnesses as to when the new moon was spotted. That's crazy, yo. The council, the starting point is 350 Common Era. What's this? Daily JSTOR website. But that's crazy. They got it right there. A group of 3 Jewish leaders, the Calendar Council, created the now fixed calendar around 350 CE. That's right after the Council of Nicaea. That's right after that. That's interesting. See that? That's crazy, yo. 350 common errors when that council decided that day. So that's what I'm saying. If Hebrews disagree with that date, if they disagree with that time period, they gotta come with something else to substantiate that. And then you gotta show a historicity behind that date, that whatever you're gonna rock with to prove that, prove your point. So until then, we're gonna hold every Hebrew Israelite and every Christian and everybody who accepts that Bible that 3761 BC is the starting point of creation. If you can't show me otherwise, you're gossiping. You're running your blood clots. You know what, family? I'm about to chime out. The boy Selah Shalom gonna go ahead and head out. You know what I mean? I just want to come up and chop it up with the fam, and I was on Sinetta earlier. You know what I mean? Beating up Moses, building with some of the other cats. So I decided to go live after just to chop it up with the gang. Boy feeling good in spirit. You know what I mean? Yes, I. So with that, your boy Selah Shalom is out of here. Peace and blessings until next time. It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com. Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.